Welcome, welcome, welcome to Pathetic, the podcast. We had a little bit of time off. The boys are all back together here. Please, before we get into any of the topics today, like, subscribe. Our link tree is in the corner. We have all of our socials there. Please tell a friend. We're trying to get this thing going. We've been doing this now for over a year. We are happy to be back in this again. Geoff, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I got the family, including Uncle Teddy, coming down next week to hang out, play some golf, have a great time, and looking forward to that. But also coming back to Jersey for the summer, which Uncle Teddy now branded the Summer of Geoff. So I'll be
Exactly.
back in Jersey. So my boys listening will be meeting up and playing golf and living some good old time. So Uncle Teddy, how you doing?
Well, I was doing really good before I found out tonight that you were coming back for the summer. Now I'm doing really good. Forget about the fact that the transmission in my car is probably shot and it's going to be at the dealer's tomorrow. We're looking forward to the summer of Geoff. That's what we're looking forward to.
That's right.
Mikey, it's great.
Yeah, Summer of Geoff. So yeah, we're excited to be back with everyone. We got a packed show for you here tonight. We're gonna start with this outfit that I have on right now. I was lucky enough to be able to go to the PGA Championship on Saturday. The Philly crowd was electric in terms of their energy. It was just a great afternoon of golf. That course is insanely difficult. It is not a long course by any means, but the greens are gigantic. I mean, you see them in person, you could literally four putt on some of these greens if you're not careful. And I think some people actually did on some of these because there are shelves. There was all kinds of stuff where if you missed it by 1 foot one way, it was rolling off into the rough. But what a great day. We were there early, 7:30 in the morning. We were there for the military appreciation thing. They had a flyover of 4 different helicopters and all kinds of stuff. They were handing out American flags to everyone. It was a great, great day of golf. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch any of it on over the weekend, but any thoughts on the PGA?
Yeah, I saw some of it on Sunday. I was rooting for my boy John Rahm, but he just fell short. For those of you who don't know, I was supposed to be with Mikey on Saturday, and I had my granddaughter's dance recital, and it was. I told Mikey I had to be there because, in retrospect, at the end of the day, they gave away a scholarship to like the the child who is the happiest and is always smiling and works hard. And it turns out to be my granddaughter Mia. So shout out to Mia for getting the
There you go.
scholarship. My
Nice.
wife was crying and my son-in-law was crying, but he was crying because he said, now I don't have to pay $700 next year in dance recital fees. But yeah, I was disappointed I didn't go, but like I said, in retrospect, it was great that I didn't. But one of these days, I want to get out there. It looked like it was great. Mike was sending me pictures and updates, and it looked like he was having a great time, and I was definitely jealous.
Yeah, I went down to the went to the PGA Championship down here in Charlotte, and it was a great time. They did it right. I'm sure it was a very similar experience, Mike, that they did up north by you. But it's a good time, man. I always recommend to people, even if you just go once to a golf outing, it's an awesome experience, right? It's a little different than going to a regular sporting event where you can see everything going on. And, the difficult part of going to a golf outing is you don't really know what's happening in other places. But to see these guys hit the ball and to see the way they play in person right next to them, and you have front row seats wherever you are, it's an experience. Even if you're, just a finite golf fan, a small golf fan, it's it's awesome. We had such a good time walking around just with a beer, with some food. It's great. So yeah, I'm not surprised, Mike. I'm sure you had an awesome time there.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you said it, took the words right out of my mouth, Geoff. When I saw Luke Donald, he hit one into the mulch on the right hand side of the second hole, right in front of us. and then he was able to hit it in the mulch, hit it within, I think, 25 feet of the pin, and it was about, I don't know, 170 yards away, and he probably had a 9-iron in his hand from the mulch and was able to spin it back where it got relatively close to the hole.
Yeah.
I said that would have taken me probably 6 shots to get from the mulch
Right.
to there, and they did it without even blinking with a 9-iron. So it's amazing. It's a crazy how good. I think Rory McIlroy hit a drive, I think almost 400 yards.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Into the wind. He drove a par 4, which is crazy. I mean, they had a 600-yard par 5 that everyone was just hitting it in 2, no problem, and just going. That's a par 14 for me, I think. If I got a 14 on that hole, I'd be ecstatic. So
that's the one thing that really hit me when I went to the PGA down here was off the tee, the trajectory of that ball. And it never made me feel worse about my golf game until I saw that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The way the ball it starts low, you know it, right? Starts low, starts going up, it ascends as it goes. I'm like, how the – and this is like Rory McIlroy, who's a tiny guy. I saw him in person, a tiny guy, just blasting the ball. And you know, when you see them hit from the field, it's great, it's impressive. But when you see these guys hit off the tee in person, it really is like poetry. It really is. It's incredible.
To me, it's like you watch them, and when they have an approach shot that's, let's say, 190 yards out, and they put it within 15 feet of the hole, and they're mad.
Yeah,
because they wanted it to be closer. Yeah, right, with the pitching wedge, exactly. I hit a sand wedge this past week. I normally hit it about 75 yards. I must have hit it just so good, and it went about 94 yards. And my son-in-law says to me, he says, "Wow, you hit it that far?" I said, "No, something weird happened. I don't know what happened with that because that's never going to happen again." But these guys, it's just every shot, every club, when they tell you what the distance is, when they hit it, it's within a yard of that distance all the time. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
And I will say one thing, the shout out to Aronimick, the course. That place was immaculate. Everything was really well put together. They had really good logistics in terms of the buses were right there. There was no waiting. We really parked our car. We hopped on a bus. 10 minutes later, we were standing on the course. All the food was included in your ticket, so you could literally just walk in, grab food, and walk right out. There was no line for the concessions. Nice. It was amazing. So you could get a burger, a hot dog, chicken sandwich, Italian sausage.
How many, Mike?
So we really didn't hit the food that much, but I did try everything that was on the menu. So I had a burger, a hot dog, a chicken sandwich, and an Italian sausage, plus a bag of chips each time and a Gatorade or a water each time. So plus about, I don't know, 9 or 10 transfusions throughout the day. So those were not included. But my buddy who did go with me, Matt, he took care of a lot of the drinks for me. So it wasn't too much of a wallet until I got to the pro shop, in which case, as you could see, I went a little nuts in there. So, but great time, great weekend there. But shout out to them. But if we also look at this weekend, Teddy, you also had a pretty good weekend. You had Mia getting her
scholarship
at the dance recital, and then you had the Subway Series that happened this weekend. As Yankee fans, I mean, we'll talk in a minute about that, but we'll let Ted have his moment of glory because his season has been really terrible this year, and this weekend probably made things feel a little bit better. So we'll give you like 90 seconds to gloat for us, and then we'll talk a little bit there as well.
Before he gloats, Mike, we'd be remiss to not mention something because Uncle Teddy, you know I love you to death. You said you were out on the Mets last week.
I did.
Are you back?
No, I'm not really back completely, but they're pulling me. They're starting to listen. They need for me to get back, and I'm always going to hate David Stearns, for what he did. And I think them getting back is not because of what David Stearns is doing. It's because of what those kids they're bringing up and the pitching are doing. Okay,
Mhm.
Clay Holmes, that was a rough one. That's going to be a
Yeah.
tough one to overcome.
Y-
But they're now only, I think, 6 games under 500, 5 or 6 games under 500. They have Washington and Florida coming up. So if they can play like the way they played against the Yankees, maybe we're going to get to 500 and then you start fresh again. I'm just happy to see the kids that they brought up, who I thought they brought them up too early. I thought they brought Benj and Ewing up too early. Um, I'm glad to see them doing good. Listen, Jerry Seinfeld said it. You root for the laundry. As mad as you get, you root for the laundry.
Yeah.
And I'm never not going to be a Met fan. I'm never going to be a David Stearns fan. I don't care what he does. He's never going to win me over. Never. I'm done with him. Completely done with him. But I was happy to see them beat the Yankees. Listen, the Yankees are struggling right now too. I mean, they're something. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, but they're struggling big time. And who knows? I mean, Tampa Bay is just. You look at that team. Hey, what is it with them? Every year, with the lowest payroll, they're
They're a
always so
thorn.
competitive, right? They're a
Yep.
thorn in your side, and
Always.
they're crushing Baltimore tonight. And the Yanks are losing 4-3. You're going to look up and be 4 games out.
Yeah.
And you play them later in the week. So I think it's time for the Yankees to really, get on their horse. Like I said, I'm happy. Yankee fans calling WFAN today going, "Oh, the Mets, this was their World Series." No, it wasn't our World Series. We just beat you 2 out of 3. You
Yeah.
guys struggle in Citi Field for some reason. I don't know what it is. And we beat you. Nobody's saying we're going anywhere. I don't think we're going anywhere.
Yeah.
But we won.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo.
You won fair and square, and you mentioned the Rays. Look, the Yankees definitely hit a skid. There's no doubt about it, and I'm not overly concerned. I see a lot of people flipping out, especially Yankee fans. But if the Rays weren't playing virtually perfect baseball, we'd still be in first place right now, right? Or at least tied, maybe a game behind, right? But the Rays are playing basically perfect baseball. But look, the Yankees have a couple of problems that need to be fixed, even though I'm not concerned. First of all, they have a big Austin Wells problem. Austin Wells has been an absolute disaster. He's
Yeah.
basically an automatic out. And, look, it's come to a point where, do you just put Paul Goldschmidt in as the permanent first baseman and Ben Rice as the catcher? Because we know what Ben Rice is doing. Paul Goldschmidt hit a home run today. He's still a good player. But the concern is, Ben Rice isn't really a great defensive catcher, which can cost them games, especially in the playoffs when
It could also mess
you
his batting up.
it can mess a lot of things up for him too, because he's actually coming around at first base and doing okay. But I don't know. It's definitely the Austin Wells issue. This guy literally is an automatic out every time. But then you look at the road trip. I mean, they averaged like 2.5 runs a game. Their batting average was like 198. It was just a bad road trip. But,
Yeah.
again, this is par for the course for the Yankees. And I don't go into alarm mode with the Yankees like I do the Giants. Like if the Giants lose to the Cowboys opening night, which we'll get to, I'm already in panic mode. I'm already saying the season's over. Harbaugh stinks now. He's not the same guy. The Yankees going through this slump. This is normal. And the Yankees slumps, guys, and you know this, it's horrifying every year. It's not just a slump. It's not like a Dodger slump or, even a Rays slump. The Yankee slump, it looks like they've never played the game before. So if this goes on for 4 or 5 weeks, I'd be really concerned. I'm not worried at all about the Yankees. They'll be fine. The Mets deserve their bragging rights. As far as the Mets go, real quick, Mike, before I get to you, you guys should be very happy right now and have a little breath of fresh air that you can turn the season around. Because I didn't look at the standings recently in the wild card, but I would imagine you're 6, 7 games behind.
Yeah,
The
something like
season is
that.
not over for you guys, right? So keep the faith, have fun with the season. I don't think the Mets are going to go anywhere because you have to have basically a perfect season the rest of the way. But at least now, after beating the Yankees fair and square in a great way, by the way, coming back from behind,
Yeah.
there's at least a reason for you guys to have some hope. So I can't hate. I'm not the guy that's going to say, "Nah, shut up. We're still better. We still have Aaron Judge, best player in baseball." Blah blah. No. You guys deserve your bragging rights, and Mike, you and I are unfortunately on the chopping block for it. We got to take it.
Yep. We're just basically we're at the Memorial Day check-in at this point. We're basically at the first time you're really going to look and see what your teams are in terms of what you're doing. You got to be pretty happy with what the Yankees have done. You know, they have the second best record in the American League, but there are, as you said, Geoff, a couple of problems. One is 100% Austin Wells, and I'm going to quote my brother. He put this on Twitter the other day, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. If Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez can go down to AAA because of their performance, then why can't Austin Wells?
Yep.
What is holding him up for doing that? There's no reason why you can't have Esquera and Rice be the two catchers on this team, because at least Esquera can play a lot, and he's not going to give you much on the bat, but he's at least a good defensive catcher where you could at least have that part going for you. But why can't Austin Wells go down to AAA, learn a little bit, get back to being a good hitter, and come back up? There's no reason why you can't do that, especially because you did the exact same thing to Volpe and to Dominguez. So why can't you do it to Wells?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And then the second thing that I really think is the bigger problem that is going to need some fixing from Brian Cashman is this bullpen. This David Bednar, it makes Devin Williams look like Mariano Rivera at this point with the way he's pitching right now. It is bad every single time out that he's gone out here. Even in non-save situations, he's given up runs.
Yeah.
And he's just doesn't feel like whenever he gets into the game, you don't feel like he's going to close it out. He's going to put a couple guys on. He's going to make you sweat. Even if he gets out of it, he's still going to make you sweat every single time. So that's something that Cashman's got to figure out a way to work through. You got all these other guys that you can potentially trade to get some really good bullpen help later on here. And I think that's something that he's going to have to do at the trade deadline to make sure this team is ready for October, because at this point, barring an unmitigated collapse, this team is going to be in October, and it's going to be playing important games then. So you got to have a bullpen that's going to be able to stick up with these teams that eventually someone in the American League West is going to get hot. The Central, you always get a little frisky, but then when you get to the World Series, if you get there, you're going to have problems if you don't have a bullpen that can do anything. So,
well, David Bednar, who I actually like, and I'm not going to backtrack now. I always thought, I think overall he's done a good job for the Yankees, but his problem is he plays with fire way too much, right? Even when he saves a game, which he's had his handful of saves for, his Yankee tenure, it's never easy. It's never easy. There's always a guy on. He walks the first guy, then he gives up a hit, and then he has a couple of strikeouts, and then a pop out. It's never easy. And if you play that game too long, if you play with that fire too long, you're going to get burnt eventually. So, Mike, I'm with you, man. They have to do something with the bullpen. They will. I don't think there's any question. And the Yankees have pieces to trade for some bullpen help. Now, the issue is a closer is very expensive if you can even get your hands on one. So we're going to have to give up a lot, but I think I would give up a lot for a closer right now, like a surefire closer. Maybe put Bednar in the setup role. Now, the good news also, Mike, is you have Gerrit Cole coming back, which means Weathers probably goes into the bullpen. So to me, that's already an upgrade. So I think by default, just with Cole coming back, we're going to have an upgrade right there. But by the trade deadline, we got to get at least two pieces to that bullpen, no doubt about it.
Guys, two things. Number one, if you're interested in a closer, Devin Williams might be available at the trade deadline. Wait, number two. Now listen, I don't know what this means, but numbers are numbers, right, Mikey? Numbers are numbers.
Yep.
Can either of you, without looking it up, tell me what the Mets record was with Francisco Lindor in the lineup
this year?
Yeah, this year.
Oh, with Francisco Lindor, he played. How long has he been out for? 2 weeks?
It's been out for about 20-something games.
I don't think it was very good.
No, it's got to be terrible.
It was 8-16.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
They are 12-10 with him not in the lineup.
You know what they say?
Coincidence? I think not.
You know what they say? one of my favorite sayings: liars can't figure and figures can't lie.
That's
There
exactly
you go.
That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
So, I mean, listen, is it is it a Lindor problem? We've been saying it was, and Met fans jump down my throat every time I say it. How it's like we're talking about Aaron Judge for Yankee fans here. Like, please stop it. Lindor is a problem. We've been saying this.
Yeah.
He's not. Listen, he's a nice guy, I'm sure,
He's
but not a
become
good teammate.
problem. Well, forget. I'm not going through the clubhouse thing again. Go ahead, Mike. Take over. I'm sorry. But Devin Williams will be available for you if you need it.
Well, we'll put the Subway Series rivalry aside, and we'll get to a team that 95% of New York City is actually going to be behind over the next couple of weeks, and that is the New York Knicks.
Uncle Teddy's part of that 5%, by the way, that will not be on board with that.
Correct. Right. That's why I said 5% is the Net fans, but 95% of the rest of the tri-state area will be in orange and blue, rocking and rolling. I even forgot that they were in the playoffs. They've been gone for so long against the Sixers series. I was like, oh, I forgot. We have the Eastern Conference Finals starting tomorrow.
Yeah, so 13 days or whatever since the Knicks have played. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it is a little concerning to me that they have such a long layoff, especially the way that they were shooting in that Philadelphia series. I mean, they couldn't miss. I mean, OG Anunoby could not miss until he got hurt. That was when he actually stopped playing. But you now have home court advantage against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You are a remarkably high favorite in this series. Guys, your thoughts on the series, your thoughts on the Knicks? It's been a while since we've been on, so thoughts on anything with the Knicks as of right now, and what do you think is going to go on with this series?
So here's what I'll say about the Knicks. As you guys know and our listeners know, I don't want to say a fraudulent Knick fan because I never even make that proclamation that I'm this like big Knick fan. I root for them when they're in because it's New York and I want to see New York teams win. But there's a couple things to note about the Knicks. These fans are obnoxious. I'm going to be honest with you. And listen, I know Yankee fans and Giant fans have their problems. We've had issues. I'm not so sure there's a more obnoxious fan base in New York than the Knicks. They knocked, what's his name, down to the floor, J.R. Smith, right outside the Garden or something. I saw that. And there's something that's annoying about the Knicks fan, particularly from the celebrity standpoint, which drives me crazy. And a part of me wants them to lose because I don't want to see Ben Stiller, if he's not at the Met Gala, by the way, Ben Stiller going to the game with his fake fandom. It drives me crazy. But we can't deny the Knicks have been dominant so far, and they're playing amazing basketball. Mike Brown has done a great job with this team. There's no doubt about it. And what's nice is seeing Philly fans upset and making excuses. I don't know about you, Mike, because I know you're a big Knicks fan. I listened to Philadelphia sports radio.
I did too. I listened I was on a Monday morning when they got knocked out. I was locked in on WIP as soon as I got into the car. Bro, I wanted to hear where they were at.
There's 2 times throughout the last 5 years I've listened to WIP. Now it's on my my Odyssey automatic click or whatever. It's when this happened with the Knicks and when the Giants spanked the Eagles last year on Thursday Night Football. And I was listening to that more than the fan. So to see Philadelphia be upset and making the excuses is great. I don't know if there's a more unlikable player in sports than Joel Embiid. So to see him lose is great. But look, the Knicks are making the finals. They're going to beat Cleveland. I don't think there's any question. So, can they can they win the championship? Time will tell. We'll see what happens. Hopefully there's no injuries. But like I said, the Knicks fan has really starting to rub me the wrong way. I'm not going to lie. But you also can't lie and say the Knicks haven't played well because they've been dominant and deserve everything they're getting right now. This is tough for Uncle Teddy. I can see.
Yeah, this is tough.
Listen, I hate them. Okay, I hate them. I can't even put it another way. But the one thing I agreed with was when Jalen Brunson said after the Philly series, man, he goes, I thought Philly was a real good sports town because everybody in that arena was a Knicks fan. Everybody. Which made me laugh so
that news reporter
hard.
that was broadcasting from inside the thing. She's talking the Philly ABC News reporter. She's standing there, and all of a sudden they see that they're on, and all of a sudden she gets absolutely bombarded by about 70 Knicks fans.
Yep.
Just completely blocked her out of the whole screen. So yeah, I love that.
I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna be rooting against the Knicks. I'm not really gonna be paying attention. That's it. I'm not gonna root against them. I think they definitely should get to the finals. I mean, the only thing I'll say about Cleveland, Kenny Atkinson is a great coach. He really is a great coach. And I know that maybe Detroit was a little beat up, a lot of things with Detroit, but they were the number 1 seed in the East.
Yeah.
And Cleveland took them out. Game 7 at Detroit. So I think that the Knicks just be careful with this series. Just be careful.
Yep.
Because if you find yourself close, if I had to choose a coach, Kenny Atkinson or Mike Brown, I'm choosing Kenny Atkinson every time. So that's all. But I think they're going to beat Cleveland. I think
now the one thing that is also going for the Knicks as well is that the adult entertainment scene in New York City is much better than it is in Detroit. So James Harden, while he's at these games, will certainly be occupied, I think, thinking about what's going on after the games. So you may not get the James Harden you've been getting in these Cleveland Detroit series. So I'm hoping that that's the case. I hope when he goes back to playoff Harden at some point here going forward.
Yeah, I take back what I said about Joel Embiid being the most unlikable. James Harden might be number 1.
He tried so hard to blow that Game 7.
Yeah.
And the team just rallied and just went out and did it. He stinks in a big spot.
He's overrated.
He legit stinks. He's so overrated.
Yep.
Holy
But they have some good young pieces there in Cleveland. So like you said, you got to be – Mobley is really, really good off the bench. And they have some guys who can make things very tricky. So especially coming off of a long layoff where you're probably going to be cold in the first half of that game in all likelihood, because that place is going to be jumping. You're going to be jittery. You're going to be all – because there hasn't been an Eastern Conference final where you're basically the shoe-in to get to the finals in Madison Square Garden in a very, very long time. So – that place is going to be electric on Tuesday night.
It's going to be there. Madonna's
it's going to be wild.
There.
Yeah.
But Mike, you said it, man. The time off is a factor. I mean, this isn't 5 days or 6 days. This is now going to be 14 days.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's half a month off.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So there's no way they're going to hit the ground running in the first quarter. I got to be surprised. There's going to be things they have to work out again and just sort of get back in that rhythm, because just like any other sport, it's it's about rhythm. It's about timing.
Yeah.
And taking 14 days off, practice. We talk about practice, man.
Practice.
Practice, man. That's not enough. They got to get in that game rhythm. So I'd be like, I think like my bold prediction would be like the Knicks get spanked in the first quarter, and they eventually pick it up. And whether they win or lose game 1, we'll find out. But I don't think they're going to hit the ground running right away. So they got to work that out for sure.
Yeah. We will be locked in on that series. Starts on Tuesday. Finally, we are back to basketball, and the agita level will be going up progressively for me as the series goes on, as it usually does with any playoff series with one of my teams. So we'll get ready for that on Tuesday. But we're going to move on from the Knicks. We're going to move forward in the calendar a little bit. As we all heard through the many, many leaks that happened over the past week, we had a couple of drips one day, a couple of drips the next day, and then finally we got the schedules to get released in the NFL. This is what everyone's come here to see. Guys, let's get your thoughts on the overall schedule first, and then we will do our win-loss for the Giants and Jets, and we'll see where we end up.
I mean, overall,
Zach, go ahead. You fire away.
Looking at the NFL schedule, I mean, they're almost playing every single day. The way they've moved it around, they've added the extra international games. I'm not going to complain. I mean, because as much as I complain about the international games, how great is it to wake up on a Sunday morning at 9:30 and you got a football game, and then you still got the whole day ahead of you.
Yep.
So I like that. The whole Thanksgiving weekend thing is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, it is. I think they take the whole schedule release thing a little bit too crazy. I mean, it's ridiculous how they do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Just release it in one day. Don't give me these. We're gonna release 3 games on Monday, and then the international games on Tuesday, and then the Amazon Prime games on Wednesday, and then the
But I
the
even
ones that
mean
are
what
on.
the teams do. I mean, where they fill the stadium, and then they have some kind of a crazy fakakta thing going on, and then they release it. Just give us the games.
This is what the NFL does. They are an entertainment business.
It's true.
We tune in for the sports.
Right.
I haven't watched a halftime show in 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a pregame show unless it's something about the Giants in God knows how long. So, listen, that's just part of the deal. Everything is a celebration. But as far as the schedule, it's funny. One of my biggest complaints about the NFL has been the oversaturation of games. But they're not stupid, because you know what? Every game, guess who's watching? Me, you, everybody listening. As much as we complain, oh, we got a Black Friday game, we got a Thanksgiving Eve game, and now Thanksgiving, I'm watching all these games. And if I have to pay for a damn subscription for one day for $8 and the Giants are playing, guess what? I'm doing it, right? So, but let's look at this Thanksgiving schedule, boys. This is unbelievable. Game 1, you have the Bears at the Lions. Amazing game. Game 2, you have the Eagles at the Cowboys. Incredible. And then the night game, you have the Chiefs at the Bills. That is an unbelievable. There's always like that one crap game on Thanksgiving. This is, if things work out and there's no injuries, that's an incredible lineup for Thanksgiving. So, look, man, the NFL, as much as we bitch and moan about Goodell and all that, they do it right, man. When it comes to the entertainment value and when it comes to putting the right games on at the right time, they just do it right. And, I know we'll get to our teams in a second, but as far as the overall schedule, again, Thanksgiving, I'm watching all 3 days. So, really, it's been really an amazing lineup if you look at that, man. Those 3 days are incredible.
Yeah, and they really have put no one is getting a crap Thursday night game anymore. They're not getting the crap Monday night game anymore. They're really stacking those lineups with really good games. And the other teams are now going to be playing at 1 o'clock on Sunday, which used to be like everyone would get all excited for 1 o'clock on Sunday. And now that's kind of where the dumping ground is for all the has-been teams, and the teams with no buzz to them are all playing at 1 o'clock every single week, which we'll get to in a second when we talk to our local teams. But, they know how to build an audience there. I just hope that they don't do it where they take away from that Sunday, because they own a day of the week. It's not, excuse me for the religious people, but it's not Jesus's day anymore. It is the NFL's day on Sunday when it comes to that. If you ask the average American are they going to church or are they going to watch NFL? More people are watching NFL than are going to church, unfortunately.
That's true.
So they own a day of the week. And if you start putting games on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Monday, you're going to end up diluting your product on Sunday. So I hope that they don't take it so far where Sunday all day long is not, Scott Hanson's not twiddling his thumbs looking at Jaguars Titans is the only real game on a Sunday afternoon.
Mike, that's actually a good point, because my whole issue with the oversaturation of football is exactly what you just said, where Sunday is the day, right? Even Monday, that's cool. That's more of just a sprinkle on top of the ice cream, if you will. But Sunday is football. And the worst Sunday of the year is the Sunday after Thanksgiving, as far as football goes, right? Because the games, unless the Giants or Jets are playing, there's not that many games that we're very interested in, because those games already happened on Thanksgiving. Last year it was Black Friday. So you're right, man. That's always been my issue, like oversaturating during the week and having Thursday night football, which is usually a good game, as far as on paper at least. It ruins it, because now those teams aren't playing Sunday. When you put 6 teams on Thanksgiving, another 2 teams on Thanksgiving Eve, and another 2 teams on Black Friday, you just eliminated damn near half the league, right? So that's the only issue I have with it. like your Sunday does get a little blown because a lot of those teams already played. But again, we'll be watching every game. Doesn't matter when they play.
Yeah. So we will now get into it. We are going to do our win-loss. We will start with the Giants because they did have the better record than the Jets did last year.
That's not saying much, by the way.
Correct, but we will start there with their schedule. We'll go through the games. We'll go quick because I think there's not really much we can talk about in terms of breaking down these games yet. But
Can I say one thing real quick, Mike, about the schedule, about the Giants? Do we really have to start with 2 damn primetime games? I hate primetime games. And the first 2 games for the Giants are 8 o'clock or 8:15 or 8:30, whatever time they're going to start. So those are 2 nights that I'm going to sleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But please, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. Yep, they do. They did get them on 4 different primetime games for the Giants. They have the first 2. They have a Thursday night game against Washington, and then they have a Monday night game later in the season. So, but we will go through each game. We'll do a quick win-loss, and we'll see where we're at. Teddy, are you keeping track here
Yes,
for
track.
us? All right. So week 1, Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys come in and welcome John Harbaugh to the NFC East with a showdown on Sunday night. What are we thinking?
You know what? The Giants historically don't play well prime time, but Jackson Dart does. And John Harbaugh is ready for this. I think he's pumped. He's going to have this team ready to go against the division rival. I think Dallas has some problems, so give me a win there. I'm going to say the Giants beat the Cowboys prime time.
Loss.
I
just don't think they could beat Dallas yet. I think it's close, but I think that's a tough one.
I think they win. I think they beat Dallas. Dallas always starts the year off kind of shaky, and whoever wins that game is going to get so much hype to start the year off because you're going to be, Dak for MVP again, or Harbaugh's going to win the Super Bowl. So
that was
the right game. Is going to happen. Right?
That was the right game for the NFL to pick for Sunday night opener. That was that was a perfect game.
All right. So then week 2 at the Rams, Monday Night Football. What do we think?
Tough game. I'm going to give them an L there. They got to travel to the West Coast. LA is LA. The Rams, I mean. I think they'll play them tight. I think the Giants aren't going to get banged out, but I think they'll lose that game.
Yeah, I think the Rams are just too good right now. But I agree with what Geoff said. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think that's a tough spot to travel out there and do that.
Yep, I would agree. I think that's a loss there. So then next week, Robert Saleh comes into town with the Tennessee Titans on week 3 at 1 p.m.
Robert Saleh's not beating John Harbaugh. Give me a win for the Giants there.
Win for the Giants.
Win for the Giants as well. We're all in agreement there. And then we get a little bit of a roll here. You got Arizona coming in with their team coming into Giants MetLife Stadium as well at 1 p.m. in week 4.
I think the Giants beat the living snot out of them coming back to New York at 1-1. They want to get to 2-1. I'll even give you a score: 41-6 Giants.
Teddy?
I think the Giants win.
Yep, I would agree. I think they win there as well. Week 5, another division matchup at the Washington Commanders at 1 o'clock.
Again, these are just like the biggest guesses of all time, right? Like, we have no idea what it's going to be like in week 4 at the Commanders. I'm going to be fair here. I think the Giants, I think the Commanders are good with Jaden Daniels. I'm going to say a really good game, tight game, and I'll give them a loss there. I think maybe overtime field goal, something like that. I'll give them a loss.
I agree. I think that's a loss.
Yeah, I
in
think
Washington.
It's a tough spot in Washington there.
Yeah.
And then week 6, Tyler Shuck comes into town with the New Orleans Saints at 1 o'clock.
The Giants historically struggle against the Saints, but this is a different Giant team with the quarterback and the coach, and I really do believe that. I think the Giants beat them, so give me a win there.
I am extremely impressed with Tyler Shuck. If Tyler Shuck takes the next step, I think that New Orleans wins.
I would agree. I'm going to take New Orleans there as a tough spot for the Giants, but I think the Saints are going to be a team that's going to surprise some people this year. And then week 7, you travel out to Houston to play the Texans on 1 o'clock.
So obviously the Texans have the best defense in the league, but I think Jackson Dart isn't afraid of that. He's not going to be intimidated. I think the Giants' offensive line has beefed up enough to make him better against the good teams. I think the Giants win that game, actually. And I think they'll be underdogs based on their defense, but I think the Giants pull off a slight upset and win.
Texans.
I'll take the Giants there as well. Then we have week 8. We have the bye week right in the middle, which is nice. And then you come back from the bye and you head on down to Lincoln Financial Field and play the Philadelphia Eagles at 1 o'clock.
So I'm going to split a lot of these games within the division. So they're in Philly. I'm going to give the Giants a loss there. I think, again, I don't think they get smoked. I think Dart is ready for these games in a tough atmosphere. But I got the Eagles winning by a small margin.
I think the Giants win.
I also think the Giants win that game. Just gut feeling there.
Yeah.
And then the following week, Thursday night football in MetLife Stadium against the Washington Commanders to close out that part of the East schedule.
In New York, Giants win that game.
Giants win.
Yep, I have the Giants as well. And then week 11, you have them against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I like the Jaguars a little bit. I'm not fully sold on them. I think the Giants are better, actually, so I think the Giants win.
Yeah, I think the Giants win also.
I'm going to take Jacksonville there. I think they're probably going to be another team that surprises people this year as well, having Trevor Lawrence take his next step. And then the following week, they travel out to Indianapolis to see their old pal, Daniel Jones, and the Indianapolis Colts at 1 p.m.
There's going to be an obsession in the Giant building to win this game, to make sure Daniel Jones doesn't beat Jackson Dart. So I think the Giants win.
I think the Giants win also.
I also will take the Giants there. And then following that, you have a couple of tough weeks here. You have home against San Francisco at 1 o'clock on December 6th.
Oh, man. Tough because it's a West Coast travel, but the Niners are the Niners. I think the Giants they play well against San Francisco. Even if they lose, they play well at home. Give me the Giants winning that game in an upset.
San Francisco.
I'll take San Francisco there as well. And then right after that, you got to travel all the way out to the West Coast and play our boy Sam Darnold and the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks at 4:25 on December 13th.
Just to be fair, on my Giant fan pendulum, the Giants get the snot beat out of them in this game. They get destroyed by Seattle.
I think the Giants win.
Wow.
I think
travel to the West Coast against the champ.
I think they go out there and win. I do.
Wow.
I'm going to take Seattle as well.
Yeah.
And then finally, you get a little bit of a break. You are home against Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns on December 20th. It'll probably be about 3 degrees at MetLife Stadium at that day, and hopefully it's a meaningful game for everyone. But what do we think there?
No brainer. Giants win that one.
Giants win.
Yep, Giants win that one. Then they go out on Monday Night Football, their last primetime game potentially of the season, at the Detroit Lions on December 28th, right after your Christmas tree is down, and now you're playing the Lions.
The Giants, and I haven't looked at the numbers, but I know this from as a fan, the Giants never beat the freaking Lions. So the Lions will continue that trend. Probably a good game, but the Lions win.
Yeah, I think the Lions win.
I'm going to take the Giants there. I think the Lions roses off the bloom. I think this team had their shot and they couldn't get there, and I think they take another step back this year again. And then they close out the year with 2 division matchups. Week 17, they travel to Texas Stadium to play the Dallas Cowboys on January 3rd. Happy New Year.
So I have the Giants splitting with the Cowboys this year. So in Dallas, and again, this all depends on injuries too. This is where it gets weird, right? But barring health, I think the Cowboys win at home.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys win.
I will also take the Cowboys there. And then they close out the season at home against the Eagles. Date and time to be determined based on if that game is meaningful or not. What do we think right now?
So I think that game is going to be meaningful because the Eagles are always in it. And I think the Giants will be at least in contention this year. Giants at home, they split with the Eagles. Yeah, give me the Giants winning that game.
Giants win that game.
I will take Philly in that game for the split.
Okay, so
there we go.
I've got the Giants winning 9 games. Mike has the Giants winning 9 games. And Geoff has the Giants winning 11 games.
Okay. I think those are fair numbers.
Yeah, I think
that is a team that's going to be playing. That's going to be a meaningful game down the stretch there for sure.
Well, let's put it this way: with what the Giants have done, with Harbaugh giving him $100 million, with what we think Jackson Dart is, with Malik Neighbors coming back, like the Giants should be in that 9 to 11 range.
Yeah, they should win
based on what they right. I mean, I'm not saying they will be. Like we'll see what happens. But
I was very fair. And I'm not a Giants fan. I was pretty fair.
Listen, there were probably 2 games on there where I'm like, I'm going to lean the Giants because I'm a Giant fan. Right, but I think the Giants should be based on what they've done between 9 and 11. That's their expectation now.
I agree.
I think if you're anything below that, this is not a good year for John Harbaugh. And
correct.
There's going to be big changes coming next year if that's the case.
Agreed.
But you have enough of a start to really think that it's not crazy to think that you're going to be a 10 or 11 win team that's got a shot to get into the playoffs for sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
So, and now we move over to the other side of the city here.
The 1 o'clock wonders.
Oh, yes.
Shots fired.
4 primetime games for the Giants. Not a primetime game to be had for the New York Jets this year.
Lucky you guys, bro. Lucky these primetime games suck, man. You guys are so lucky. You get 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock.
1 o'clock, we can get it out of the way if that's going to be the case. But we'll see. We're going to look at the schedule and see where we're going to go.
All right.
But the Jets' schedule, again, all their games are at 1 with the exception of the 2 games on the West Coast, which are the regional 4:05 games. So they're not even on like the big primetime window for those games. But we actually have a pretty interesting opening game. We have us traveling down to Nashville and seeing our old buddy Rob Saleh in his first game as head coach of the Tennessee Titans. What are we thinking here?
Uncle Teddy, you started off. It's your team.
First of all, all gas, no break. Just so we know, all gas, no break. And I think all gas, no breaks go into the parking lot. I think the Jets go down there and they win. Geno Smith does just enough to win, and the Jets look much better. I got a Jets win.
Jets historically do well week 1, even during their worst moments when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So I agree. I think the Jets get a win there against Tennessee.
I agree. I think it's going to be ugly, but I think you're going to see a defensive battle. It might be 12-9, but I think you get a 12-9 Jets victory against the Tennessee Titans in week 1. And then you get your home opener the following week where the Green Bay Packers come into town and you're playing at 1 o'clock against the Packers. What do we think?
I think the Jets win. And the only reason I think that is because Jordan Love is so up and down. And I think it's early in the season. And again, I think Geno Smith's going to do a lot of good things to keep us in games. And I'm going to say we win a really close one. I'm going to say Jets win.
You're right, Uncle Teddy. He's up and down, but the Packers are a nuisance. They're a tough team to beat. Tough game for the Jets. I like the Packers there.
I'm going to take the Jets as well against the Packers. Start off the season 2-0 and get things a little frisky here.
Something tells me I will take the Jets is going to be a Mikey trend coming up for the next 15 weeks we're going to talk about here. So
we'll see. But then they go out and they play in Detroit, and they take on a Lions team at 1 o'clock on September 27th. What do we think there?
That's a loss.
Agreed. I don't think the Lions. I kind of agree with you, Mike. I don't think they're as good as they were, but still, the Lions indoors in that stadium, tough
Yeah.
to beat. The Lions win.
Shocker, I'm going to take the Jets
Wow.
to beat the Lions. As I said before, I don't think the Lions are going to be that good this year. So I'm going to take the Jets to start off the season 3-0 and get everybody really bent out of shape here.
Nice.
And then they continue with their NFC North gauntlet that they're going through here. And now they're going to play at the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field on October 4th.
I can't see them winning in Chicago. I just can't. I want to. I don't think Chicago's great. I can't say they're winning. I can't. I'm sorry.
I think Chicago is getting better, and that's a very scary thing because I think they have a quarterback that I was never really sold on, but he's shown he can play. I think that coach, as much as I want to punch him right in his punchable face, is a good coach. I think the Bears are very dangerous. I think the Jets lose that game in Chicago.
I'm also going to take Chicago in that game. I think the Bears. I think the Bears are going to be in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
that's my
fair.
early pick. I think they're moving in the right direction. I think Caleb Williams is the real deal, and you're going to see him really start taking into shape now that they have some team around him there. So I will take the Bears there as well. Then you get a home game. At 1 o'clock again, Sunday, October 11th, against the Cleveland Browns.
That's a win.
Jets.
I will also take the Jets there.
But by the way, the Browns are going to be horrifying this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Sanders takes a big step back. I don't think he's good at all.
I don't think he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Browns are going to be horrible this year. So yeah.
And then we take our way out to Foxborough, and we see our old pal Mike Vrabel and Mr. Rossini out there, and the New England Patriots at 1 o'clock on October 18th.
That's a win. They can jam that foghorn up their keister.
There you go. Yeah, I can't have them beating the Patriots in Foxborough. Give me the Patriots there.
I'm going to take the Jets as well with that spot. The following week, they are home to the Miami Dolphins at 1 o'clock as well.
That's a win. The Dolphins are trying to get the number 1 pick.
Yes, agreed. Give me the Jets.
I will also take the Jets against the Dolphins. And then week 8, the Fernando Mendoza and the Las Vegas Raiders travel across the country on November 1st, 1 o'clock game. What do we think?
I think the Jets win. Bailey knocks him around. I don't think that offensive line is as good as it needs to be yet for the Raiders. I think the Jets win.
I think the Raiders are going to surprise people this year. Not make the playoffs, but they'll be a lot better with Mendoza. But I agree. I think coming across the country, facing the Jets, give me the Jets in that game.
I will also take the Jets there. And then they go out to Arrowhead Stadium November 8th, 1 o'clock against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I just, in no world can I see them winning in Arrowhead. So I'm going to say loss.
Agreed. I think if they were in New York, I could maybe pick that for the upset game for the Jets, but not in Arrowhead. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs.
I will take Kansas City as well in that one. Then following week, we get our first taste of Josh Allen, November 15th, 1 o'clock, home against the Buffalo Bills.
I'll take the Jets because we kind of most of the time split with them. So I'm going to take that we're going to split. So I'm going to give us a win there.
It's in Buffalo or it's in New York?
New York.
In New York.
In New York. Uncle Ted, I actually agree with you there. You guys play well against the Bills. So I'm going to give the Jets an upset win there. Give me the Jets over the Bills and a shocker where people are surprised that they win. I'll take the Jets.
I will also take the Jets there, and we'll split against the Bills. Then they fly out to SoFi Stadium, home of the Super Bowl this year, to play the Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers at 4:05, one of their only 4 o'clock games of the year.
I think that's a loss.
Yeah, Chargers are tough, especially if they're healthy. Yeah, give me the Chargers there for sure.
I don't think they're healthy. I'm going to take the Jets there against the Chargers in Week 11. And then they go all the way across the country again to head down to Hard Rock Stadium to play at the Miami Dolphins on Thanksgiving Sunday at 1 o'clock, one of the only games on that Sunday that week.
This is one of the few times I wish we had Odell Beckham, because after we beat them, I would have liked to seen Odell do his dog thing in the end zone. So, yes, I think we win.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a win there too.
Yeah, I think Miami is in full-blown tank mode there. They will lose that game. Give me the Jets there as well. Then we have our bye Week 13. Then we come back from the bye and we host the Denver Broncos with hopefully Bo Nix on December 13th at 1 o'clock.
Wow. I would love to say win. I think that's a tough spot. I'm going to say loss.
Very tough game to come off the bye too. So yeah, give me Denver there.
I'm gonna take the Jets. We're gonna roll here. We're gonna make this fun, and we're gonna see the Jets come back and win against Denver off the bat. Because who knows if Bo Nix is even playing at that point? So, then they go out to Arizona and play the Cardinals on Christmas, the couple days before Christmas, on December 20th at 4:05 in Arizona.
Jets win. Arizona's also trying to get that number 1 pick, so I think the Jets win.
In Arizona, I'm going to say the Cardinals win in a sloppy, low-scoring game.
I'm going to take the Jets in a 11-7 win with a safety to get the win there.
That'll be a low-scoring game. I have a feeling.
Absolutely. Then they get to host the New England Patriots at 1 o'clock, Week 16.
Jets win. I think by that point, Vrabel might not even be coaching.
Yeah, give me the Patriots. I think the Patriots are still going to be very good. I love Drake May, as you guys know. So, yeah, give me the Patriots there again.
On the Drake May ship again this year, right?
I know, man. I'm going to be the last man on that boat, brother.
Exactly.
Let me tell you.
I'm going to take the Jets, sweeping the Patriots, and then Diana Rossini will have another story to write. So we're going to keep beating that horse till it's dead at this point. So we'll keep going. Then you play your final home game of the season, home against the Minnesota Vikings on January 3rd.
That's a win. I don't think what's his face? Forgot his name already. The little guy, the quarterback.
McCarthy?
9?
No. Oh, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. I don't think Kyler Murray wants anything to do with New York in the winter.
Yeah, I actually think Kyler Murray is going to do well in Minnesota, to be honest. So, yeah, I think the Vikings win that game.
I think there's a Call of Duty that's coming out around then, so I think Kyler Murray will be occupied. I'm going to take the Jets.
I may have to take the Jets, too, if that's the truth, Mike.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, give me the Vikings there.
Yeah. And then Week 18, date and time to be determined, at the Buffalo Bills, at Highmark Stadium. Might be the Sunday night game. Who knows?
Loss.
Yeah, this is a tough ending for the Jets, the last 3 games. I think they lose to the Bills as well.
I'm going to take them to lose that game as well, but I don't think it matters based on my record right now. So I'm going to take them as a loss in Buffalo at their new stadium there.
Okay, all right, what do we got?
So we have Geoff with the Jets winning 6 games. We have Ted with the Jets winning 11 games. And we have Mikey Mush with the Jets having a 14-3 record.
14? Oh, man.
So I was going to ask this question. Does Aaron Glenn keep his job? Obviously, if Mike and my prediction comes true, he's going to keep his job because obviously he did a great job. What do you think, Geoff, with 6? Does it depend on how the losses were?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I think it depends on who's available. But No, I don't, because I think it would. You want to win more than 6 games, man. Like, I think that needs to be the expectation with Muji, how good he's doing. But it does depend on how they play. Gun to my head, I would say no.
Okay.
I would say no. I think he gets fired.
Okay.
I mean, there are winnable games. All kidding aside, with the way I picked, there are a lot of winnable games on that
100%.
schedule. They have a 4th place schedule on their docket, so there's no reason why you couldn't, even pessimistically, getting 7, 8 wins and potentially keeping his job. But also, I think if you get off to a terrible start, I think that the Sharks will start swarming, and
Yeah.
if that Dolphin game in Week 7 might be a very, very tough spot if they don't win that game, and they're 2-5 at that point. I think that you might have to make a move.
You know why I think they make a move if he gets a sorry, Uncle Teddy.
Go ahead.
If they have 6 wins, because I think Jets ownership, as dumb as they are, they don't want to waste the talent of Muji, and they want to get somebody in here that can win more than 6 games with the talent he's going to bring in. So I think the expectation for the Jets is more than 6 wins because of your general manager, right? So
Yeah.
I think that would be a big deciding factor for Jets ownership, is the fact that you got a good GM. Nobody can deny that at this point. Do you have the right head coach? That's still the lingering question. And 6 wins isn't going to cut it.
I will say this. I mean, Mike and I both know this because we follow them so closely. We always do well in the offseason, but when you looked at this offseason, the way they went about fixing the team in free agency and in the draft, but mostly in free agency, I think this team is defensively, they're vastly improved. And I think offensively, how many times last year, Mike, did we look at it and say, if we just had a competent quarterback? Geno Smith is a competent quarterback.
Yes, he is.
And I think he's going to do a really good job. And someone on ESPN said it today. He's picking the Jets as his surprise team. I'm not saying they're going to win, the division, but I will tell you this, and I'm going to go on record as saying this because I know you're big on that Drake May bandwagon. I think that team is so overrated, it's not even funny. They were exposed last year. They were really exposed, and they got their butts whipped in the biggest spot. And I think that when you look at all those things, they got a lot of crap going on with a few players that are giving them issues. And now you got this Vrabel thing. I think as Michael Ray Richardson from the Knicks said many years ago, the ship be sinking.
You may be right.
I hope
It's going to be interesting. We got a long way to go before then. We got training camps. We got preseason. We got all kinds of stuff. But write it down here, 14-3 for the Jets. We're going to be rocking and rolling. So
he's the best. He's the best.
So, real quick, I know we're running a little long tonight, but we will go real quick into it. Teddy, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Brandon Sorsby and his whole situation there in terms of his gambling on himself and now coming back in. Real quick, what are you thinking there?
Real quick, I'll tell you this. I had Sorsby as coming out next year as one of a top 10 quarterback. I thought if he came out this year, he would have challenged Fernando Mendoza for the top quarterback spot.
Oh, a top 10 pick, not a top 10 quarterback, a top 10
pick next year.
Oh, okay.
If you watched Brandon Sorsby this past year, he was phenomenal.
Yes, he was.
And going to where he went to, I think Texas Tech, he was going to be phenomenal again this year, and that was going to put him up with people that are looking at Sims and guys like that. And Dante Moore. And I'll tell you this though, my only issue is this guy bet on his own games. I'm sorry, but I don't think you stop doing that just because you go to the pros. And that would really concern me drafting him onto the team. I can't be a hypocrite. I thought that guy Pavia from Vanderbilt was a problem because of his attitude and all that crap. I can't be a hypocrite and say that this is not something that wouldn't matter. I love him as a player. He may turn out to be a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, and the gambling thing is clearly a problem that he has, and I hope he gets help for it. It's it's a serious thing,
Yep.
and he's going to get
Yep.
more money. He's going to have more opportunities. He's going to have more bookies coming at him and everything like that. It's hopefully he gets it cleaned up before he hits the NFL, but it's not a risk you can take because that is a serious, serious problem.
Oh yeah,
Serious problem. So
that's a big problem.
yeah.
Well, it's a very difficult segue to go from that into the Mikey Mush picks, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get there. If we look back at the last episode, we had Mikey Mush picking Japan to win the World Table Tennis Championships. Japan finished in the silver medal position. They did not win the gold. They lost to China in the World Championships. So silver is still pretty good, but it was not the winner that we were thinking of. We're gonna have a twofer for the people. We are gonna have a Memorial Day special, which is something that we're gonna go into with the IIHF World Hockey Championships. We are flying the flag. Team USA, play the Freebird. Team USA to win the IIHF World Junior Championships, 14-1. Canada is a very heavy favorite. I think the boys in the Star Spangled Banner will take us to victory there. And then I also have a more off-the-wall pick. We are going to New Zealand for the World Surfing League Championship. I'm going to take Italo Ferreira to win. He is 5-1 to win the World Championship New Zealand, Raglan New Zealand Corona Zero Pro event. The weather's nice. We're going to go surfing, and we're going to take Italo Ferreira to win. Mikey Mush's picks for this week. Guys, this was a fun episode.
Wait a minute, Mike, can I pick somebody in the surfing thing?
Yes.
I'm going to take the great white shark.
Fair. New Zealand, you might take a kiwi or something. Who knows?
I gotta have like a separate section on my Google searches for Mikey Mush because I have the World Surf League. I have teams I can't even spell correctly. Really is amazing.
Don't do it, Geoff, because your algorithm will become what his is.
It's already messed up, man. It's already messed up because of Mike.
Well, this was a fun episode, guys. Please like, subscribe. We are going into Memorial Day weekend. Please take some time on Monday to think of why we get the day off, why you're barbecuing and everything else for all the people who gave up their lives and their families to, give us the freedom to have this fun and do these things here. So please take some time on Monday. I'll be going down to the Memorial Day parade. Even though my daughter's marching in it, I'd be going anyway. But definitely take some time to do that this weekend. But guys, this was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, and we'll see everybody soon.
Take it easy.
Thank you to everybody that served and is serving our country.
Yep,
We're not here without you.
As they say, all gave some gave all. Good night.
That's right.
Good night.